Unlike my secret love for the reclusive Japanese idiomote wildcat, it is no secret that football, or soccer if you want to say it the wrong way, is the most popular sport in the world, with the World Cup being its biggest event. The competition achieved its biggest moment in the spotlight back in 2018 when an estimated 3.5 billion people tuned into the Russian broadcast. That's 30 times the amount of viewers during the most watched Super Bowl ever, and they didn't even have to see Tom Brady once. By the way, I don't like you, Tom, but what are you doing? You fumbled the hottest woman on the planet, and now you're losing to the Panthers. Just stop playing football. You had a great run, everyone knows you're good, and you won the championships. Why are you doing this? I digress. The first competition was held in 1930 and set the stage for the sports spectacle it is today. No, it didn't take place in Brazil or some European powerhouse country, but actually in Uruguay. So tell me, what you know about the first World Cup? Before the World Cup became the sport's supreme international competition, football around the globe was just taking shape. In fact, the first international competition was in Glasgow, Scotland, circa 1872. Football became an official competition of the Olympics in 1908, but was only regarded as a competition for amateurs, and still is to this day. However, the event was becoming really popular, pushing FIFA to host an international competition of its own. And with Uruguay winning the Olympic competition in 1924 and 1928, FIFA chose the country to host the inaugural World Cup in 1930 that would incidentally coincide with its 100th anniversary of independence. The tournament ran into a few snags, however. For one, FIFA removed the qualification requirement to participate, meaning any country affiliated with FIFA could participate and simply had to travel down to Uruguay. They had no problem drawing interest in the Western Hemisphere, as Argentina, Bolivia, Brazil, Chile, Mexico, Paraguay, Peru, and the United States agreed to play. However, with 2 months before the tournament, not a single European team agreed to play. Short on attendees, the first World Cup was at risk of ending like my second grade birthday party after we had already booked the big party room at Chuck E. Cheese with 8 pizzas included. Or in this case, the brand new 90,000 seat Estadio Centenario, which wasn't even finished yet. After furious chancla waving from both FIFA officials like President Jules Rimet and world leaders like Romanian King Carol II, teams from Belgium, France, Romania, and Yugoslavia all hopped on the SS Conteverde and headed for Montevideo. And let me tell you, these guys came to play. The tournament was fiercely competitive, except for Bolivia, which collapsed nearly every game. French player Lucien Laurent scored the first ever goal, and American Bert Patenaude scored the first World Cup hat-trick against Paraguay. The championship game was a rematch of the 1928 Olympic final, with Argentina looking to take revenge against their neighbor, Uruguay. No, seriously, this was a full-on bloodbath. The game gathered so much interest that several boats carrying thousands of Argentina fans were heading to Montevideo to support their team, but weren't able to dock at the busy ports before kickoff. Tensions were so high that the referee agreed to officiate only if a nearby boat would be ready for him to leave at a moment's notice. The two teams also couldn't agree on which ball to use for the final, like kids fighting over the one purple translucent N64 controller. Why no house ever had 2 purple controllers remains one of the greatest mysteries of the 90s, along with whoever let the dogs out. How many dogs were there, and where did they go? I hope they're still alive. Anyway, to settle this, Argentina supplied the ball for the first half and Uruguay for the second. In the game, Argentina would gain an early lead, but it was home team Uruguay that would prevail, beating Argentina 4-2 to become the first ever winners of the World Cup. After the first tournament for the first World Cup, host country Uruguay went on to protest the next 2 tournaments as they both took place in Europe, going against an agreement that the World Cup would alternate between continents. After a 2-tournament hiatus due to World War II, Uruguay won its second and most recent championship in 1950, in which they beat host Brazil 2-1 in a shocking upset that is now referred to as the Maracanazo. FIFA President Jules Rimet would later be credited as the inventor of the World Cup, and the iconic trophy would be named after him. The trophy would go missing in 1966, and this is a true story, would be found by a dog named Pickles.
You're such a good boy. Yes, you are.
That is until it was stolen again in 1983 after being given to Brazil and is rumored to have been melted down by thieves. Yeah. I'm Bruno, and does anyone know where I can find a good cash for gold place? Preferably with 4 stars on Yelp. I need one I can really trust.